I'll make a short video on this B&K Ex-442 amp. Basically, it's time to replace the main capacitors, and the reason is when you turn on the amp, you can hear it like a whoosh sound, like an incoming current wave. You can literally hear it for like 4 to 5 seconds, and then it kind of stabilizes, and the noise and the hum goes away. But that's a clear indicator that capacitors are old and crusty and need to be replaced. So let's make a video about that. This amp looks super dead simple. Let me zoom out. You got left channel and the right channel. Looks like they're isolated. Common ground point down there. A different bus here. I'm not sure what that one is, but basically these capacitors are huge. But I'm gonna have to make sure the discharge first of all, and all that. I brought it out here to spray it, all the dust out. Let's try that. Probably put it on its side, be better. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, I just want to show you guys, you can see it much better here in the sunlight. Oh, this one connection is, the solder is loose. Oh, check that out. It's not supposed to be like that, I don't think. It's the yellow wire. Okay, so that's an interesting fact right there. Wow, okay. This side doesn't seem to have anything loose, so maybe that was something to do with that. I still think these are kind of old, but they worked really well for a while. The amp runs really cool. These do not get hot at all, like lukewarm, I would say. The amplifiers in the back. Maybe that's what the issue is. I don't know. I can pretty sure I will fix everything, but I'll test for that. All right, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this top bridge here, because it's removable, or what we call it, and test the capacitors, because once you remove this, at that point they're out of circuit. So we can, and that's a really cool design. You just have to desolder anything, because these just screw into the top of the capacitor. You literally don't need any tools other than a screwdriver, and make sure these are discharged, which I'm pretty sure they are. When you turn off your amp, when it's still plugged into the circuit, it slowly drains it away. But we'll double check with a voltmeter before we do anything. Okay, here is on its angle. So this looks like. And these are identical, just one for left, one for right. Big ass capacitors. Yeah, we say big ass here in America. 9. I don't see any values to read, but we'll find out what they are. And check out these fuses. Interesting looking fuses. Oh, let's see if he's used that before. Very simplified design. Ooh, sound really good. So this loose wire that we spotted before, this yellow wire, check this out. The whole thing, just remove the whole thing. Wow. Oh, there's another one here. The blue wire. Yeah, that's, what the fuck? It's just like, wow. I have to retouch all these, clean it up and retouch them and test it again. This board seems okay. But I'm going to reflow these. By the way, don't do what I just did unless you're sure that the capacitors are discharged, which they are. But okay, I'm back inside. I checked using my voltmeter, everything. There's nothing there. They're all dead. I checked it. Okay, we're going to remove this one. The screws from this. Get a good size screwdriver with a good base. You need a good amount of leverage to twist them. Nah, small one won't work. Like this barely worked on one or two. The other ones wouldn't budge. So just get the right screwdriver size. Okay. So I just took this off. Now this whole thing is modular. Here's our wire, and there's another one here too. It looks like. Okay, we're just gonna put it to the side. Here's how the underside works. So there's a rectifier underneath and 2 fuses from each capacitor, and that's it. And then this is connected to your transformer. This is a little bit loose here. Why is this loose? Okay, I'm gonna check this out. This is a little bit loose. I don't think this has ever been adjusted since I bought it from this old gentleman, and I'm pretty sure he was not messing it in here, doing absolutely nothing. Okay, and then so that's out. Now I'm gonna measure these. Now I can just put my tester. Let's see, let's change it to capacitor mode. Okay, here's the positive, so I'll put this there, and here's the negative. Okay, what is it? Nothing, does it even register? Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's do this one. So it's in reverse, negative, positive. Oh, they're flipped. Also nothing. What the fuck? Range. It's an auto range, pretty sure. Manual.
Inside Europe. Anyway, what's trip in Europe?
Oh. My YouTube turned on, okay. No free advertising. Okay, this is diode. Okay, we want to be in it's an auto. Okay, it doesn't, wow, it doesn't register anything. Okay, so I mean, surprisingly, this amp works really good. It sounds really good, but even with capacitors to register nothing, that is surprising. That's something, I don't know. Okay, so I'm not getting any reading from any of these capacitors. I connected it to this guy just to see if we get a reading. Yeah, this is a 420 UF capacitor, so it's about there. Okay, so the multimeter is working. I'm getting absolutely nothing from any of these. How the heck would this even work still? Okay. Nothing. These, absolutely nothing. It doesn't even register. Wow. Okay. The amp actually plays outside of the noise of 2-3 seconds when you turn it on. It plays magically, but these capacitors are not even showing any value whatsoever. Okay, I never seen anything like that. All right, so the next step is going to be to remove these capacitors. I'm going to remove one. Looks like and then bolt these from the bottom. Probably would be the best choice because there's a bolt holding onto the capacitor, and then there's the capacitor bottom bracket is also bolted to the bottom. I think it'd be easier just to flip this, remove it. That's what I'm gonna do next. Still nothing amazing. Well, it would have came by now. Wow. We decided to remove the bolt that holds the transformer. This is how it looks from the bottom. Then the transformer is here. Okay, and then this is the top. It goes on top of it. And this was loose as well. So it says rubber, giant rubber washers on both ends. Kind of to help to insulate it, I would imagine. This is pretty. Some of these are a little bit loose, but this is just a piece of tape, so fix that. Let's just retape it basically, nothing wrong with it. But the reason why I removed it because it will allow me to get to these screws easier. And then I'll just remove it like that instead of taking 3 out and then messing with them later. I'm just going to remove this one out and then pop it out. But some of these are still in reverse, so I'm gonna have to like wiggle this from this side. Wow, that's really annoying. Why the heck did they do that? This means that they installed this first and then they lowered it and then they did that on the bottom, did those 3 screws. That's what that means. But it's still 2 of them are still, let's see, 2 of them I should be able to get, and the other ones are reversed. Amazing. Okay, so this is just loose. Got some loose soldering joints. The capacitors are completely dead. The amp still works magically. It's amazing, actually. Maybe, I don't know, it should sound much better once I get capacitors. Okay, now I'm going to remove one and we'll see what the values are. So here they are. Took one out. All the bolts were seized from the bottom and the side. It was impossible to get to them. So what I did was I had a little Dremel tool, cutting tool, but I have the Dremel somewhere. I just couldn't find it. So I just adapted it to Makita drill. Kind of this wasn't the fastest, but maybe 30 seconds or so. Anyway, this is a so it's out. Measures 0. I'm surprised the amp actually works. So once, definitely missing out on some. How this could sound if they're all dead. So this is a 17,000 MFT, 75 volt, positive, 85C rated, maximum surge 90 volt DC. So let's look this guy up, see what the cost is, and also it's a little bit dusty in here. Just dusting it. Okay, all the capacitors are removed using the same method. I'll put them, just drop them in and use something else in there. Then a brush is a good way to like remove dust from circuit boards, and you see dust. A really good way to just clean them up. Which, you know, one hand on camera is not the best way to show it, but it works really well. And I'm going to fix these hot cold solder joints. There's one here and one here. Both of these are the main lines coming from the transformer, were loose. This is unbelievable, actually. Guess they were, still worked. And the channel never cut out. And inspect this guy as well, but this one is fine. Basically at this point, this is the end of part 1. And also you can clean the bottom of this, you know, somewhat. And then we'll wait for the capacitors to come in the mail, and then I'll reassemble everything, tighten everything up. If this worked as 0, these are, like I said, these are completely dead. If this amp worked, and it did very well, it still does, without these literally functioning at all, and I imagine they would sound much better once I get new caps. I'm not sure. We'll see. That's the whole point of doing this.